What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with MoneyVest. So next week is going to be absolutely important and huge because we've got very important inflation numbers coming out for the United States for the month of January. So the Federal Reserve's main policy guidance and interest rate expectations, all of that is dependent on where inflation actually ends up going. So we're going to cover inflation numbers, of course, and be live to break down exactly what the inflation numbers are going to look like for the month of January, and of course break down markets reaction and also expectations from a federal funds futures standpoint, because the next meeting is going to be indeed in March. We don't have a meeting in February, and the March meeting is also going to include the summary of economic projections. So hope you all enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you do, make sure that you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you want to join and be a part of our MoneyVest community. I did share a members only video going over 12 stocks that I'm buying with my buy targets, including 4 to 5 different ETFs and a few more tactical swing trading ideas that are going to be useful in the future the next time we see the markets kind of go through a lot of volatility, and for us to also dollar cost average into and potentially look forward to that recovery once again. So this is going to be the video. Again, you can access it with the Patreon link down below if you want to join, and also access all of our Excel spreadsheets, Discord channels, including trade alerts, binds alerts, options alerts. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out, and I'm more than happy to help. And also do connect with me on Instagram. I do post a lot of interesting stories, polls, portfolio updates, all that stuff. My handle is going to be CASWRP as well. So going over to the markets, a very, very historical moment with the NASDAQ now once again approaching back up to almost 16,000. It did kind of hit that level on Friday, and S&P 500, of course, getting up to over 5,000 points for the first time in history. This is a big milestone on the S&P at 5,000. And I know for a fact, I'm going to come back to this video years later when the S&P is hit over 10,000 for the first time. And this right here is just another big milestone for the market. So congratulations to everyone. This is just a very, very incredible day for the United States and for the markets as well. Now, this right here are the earnings. Lots of earnings are scheduled. Again, we are in the middle of the earnings season. Big tech is done. PayPal and Phase are done. There's, again, still going to be a lot of companies, including NVIDIA, is still yet to report its earnings, which I think are going to be super important. But on Monday, we've got Monday.com reporting pre-market, and then we got Arista Networks, one of the best stocks out there in my opinion. We got Waste Management, we've got Cadence also reporting, and that is pretty much the only companies that I'm particularly interested in. Tuesday, we've got Shopify, we got Datadog, we got Coca-Cola, we got Biogen, Marriott, and Moody's, and InMode is also reporting on Tuesday pre-bell. Post-market close here, we've got Airbnb, we got Upstart, Robinhood, Lyft, MGM Resorts, we got AIG, we got Zillow Group reporting, and Instacart also scheduled to report their earnings on Tuesday after the bell. Wednesday, we got Kraft Heinz, we got CME Group, we got Barrick Gold, we got Sony reporting, and Blackstone Mortgage Trust, and that's pretty much it. And then, of course, we got Twilio reporting after the bell on Wednesday. Occidental Petroleum, super important company. Warren Buffett has been investing in this company, of course. We got Cisco, we've got Fastly, HubSpot, and QuantumScape, Upwork, all of these companies. And then on Thursday, we've got pre-market Crocs, John Deere, we've got Yeti, we've got Oatly, Wendy's, and then after the markets closed, DraftKings, Coinbase, Roku, Trade Desk, Applied Materials, DoorDash, Opendoor. Again, lots of really interesting companies. It's going to be mostly sort of like a speculative stock week because a lot of these companies are not necessarily profitable, but they have been, very popular among retail investors, even institutional traders, but for the most part among retail investors because DraftKings, Coinbase, and we got Applied, DoorDash, Airbnb, Robinhood, Upstart, Datadog, Twilio. A lot of these are, again, not super profitable, not the best in terms of cash flows, but they have a lot of potential in their own specific fields. Now, this right here is going to be the economic calendar. So very important inflation numbers, as I said, on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. We've got CPI, of course, core CPI, and year-over-year and month-over-month numbers coming out. The expectations are for CPI month-over-month to have increased by 0.2% versus the previous number of 0.2%. Year-over-year for us to sit at 3%, that's down from 3.3%, and core to come down from 3.9% to 3.8%, and month-over-month to have increased 0.3%. So these right here are going to be some of those expectations. And as we already know, that 3.8, 3.9% is still way above the Fed's target. We've already learned from Powell and his speeches during the FOMC meeting and during the 60 Minutes interview as well, how necessary and important it is for the Federal Reserve to bring inflation down to 2%, right? That's their target. That's where they are looking to achieve. But they also mentioned that they're not going to wait for the inflation numbers to come down to 2% before they start lowering interest rates, right? They are going to allow for the interest rates to get cut sometime in the middle of this year, and almost all FOMC members are on board with that potential rate cuts getting started in the middle of this year, but they want to see that greater confidence that inflation is indeed moving closer to their 2% target. This right here is going to be the rest of the week. So we got retail sales, core retail sales. We've also got consumer expectations and sentiment numbers, import-export prices, Philadelphia Fed manufacturing numbers, so PMI numbers also coming out with some crude oil inventories. We had one of the biggest energy conferences in Goa in India just a few days ago, and this is a 5-day conference which my dad was also a part of because he works for the biggest company, biggest government oil and producer in India. So ONGC is the company, and there were people from all over the world, including OPEC nations, and we had Abu Dhabi, we had people from Exxon, Chevron. There was over 30,000 people representing all these different organizations, companies, and different parts of the world, part of that conference in Goa. So I've actually asked my dad to give me some insights and some notes from the conference and what was discussed and what were the presentations like, to give you a little bit of an insight on what the future of energy looks like. And from the idea, from everything that I've gathered so far, I'm still like to talk to him in more detail about this, but he basically said that oil and energy is not going anywhere. Yes, there's big potential with electric vehicles and renewable energy, but at the same time, all the parts, everything requires some level of energy, some level of oil, some level of fossil fuels, because everything that you look around you, everything's created directly or indirectly with the use of fossil fuels. So that was kind of like the takeaway, but at the same time, you got to understand the source. I mean, of course, you go to an energy conference, they are going to be extremely bullish, and they are going to be basically mentioning that energy is the future, oil is the future. So that is something to keep in mind and take that with a grain of salt here. Now, moving forward for the rest of the week, actually, this is pretty much it. So again, inflation expectations. We've got a few members also talking Fed's balance sheet, initial claims every Thursday that comes out. GDP numbers for the first quarter scheduled for also Thursday on at 1 p.m. Eastern. And again, that's pretty much going to be it. And PPI numbers come out on Friday, February 16th, a couple days after the CPI numbers as well. So that's where we are with the markets. S&P 500 continuing to drift higher and higher to a new all-time high. This has been nothing but an extremely strong, momentous rally here, and we've seen 4 consecutive months of green. Since November of 2023, we have seen the markets absolutely rip higher, and it's kind of interesting that November 23, literally from my birthday month, the markets have just been on this phenomenal ripping, 20% higher to new all-time highs of well over 5,000 points. And the NASDAQ here also same exact story. The last 4 months have been absolutely incredible, with the NASDAQ jumping a little bit over 27%, approaching close to that all-time high at 16,223 as well. And I have no doubt, I'm confident that next week could be the week the NASDAQ also hits that new all-time high. Once again, that's going to be sitting roughly at over 16,000 points moving forward. So hope you all enjoyed this video and a complete update on what is coming up next week. Earnings season is still underway. We still have a lot of economic reports, especially a big inflation numbers coming out for the month of January. Along with that, of course, we've got PMI numbers, manufacturing index, jobless claims, a few members also talking. So definitely do connect with me on Instagram. My handle is going to be CasWRP, and join our Patreon and Discord to access all the trade alerts and also watch all of our members-only private videos with a link down below as well. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.